Success is the product of daily habits, not once in a life transformations. Hi guys, my name is Ishan and welcome to our podcast channel Book Summary with Ishan, where we aim to provide a summarized view of some of the life-changing books under 30 minutes. Today, I'm going to summarize about a renowned book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Just to give you a little background about the author, James Clear sold around a million of copies of the book Atomic Habits. And also, he's a speaker in companies such as LinkedIn, Cisco, Intel on continuous improvements and habits. This book is for anyone who wants to change his or her habits. If you want to care about achieving your goals and want to discover the system on how to build the system that will help in achieving your goals, then this podcast and this book is for you. James Clear argues in Atomic Habits that huge ambitions should not be your primary emphasis in life. Instead, to assist build habits that stick, you should use frequent, repetitive behaviors and processes. Small habits rather than large alterations are more important for making substantial improvements in your life. Let's say you desire to get in a better shape. In such situation, eating a little better, exercising regularly, and getting adequate sleep are your best bets. Rather than wasting time making unattainable objectives that require significant adjustments, all you have to do is make one small change every day. This is a recurring theme in Atomic Habits. The quality of the work life is determined by your behaviors. Some behaviors are as significant as an atom. As these atomic habits accumulate, they can make a significant impact in your life. What is a habit? Habits are the compound interest of self improvement. Small ordinary activities that we undertake mechanically and with little or no thought are referred to be habits. Habits have a lot of power. Every day we are what we do. Habits shape our identity in this way. As a result, even the tiniest activities have a significant impact when performed every day. Positive change, on the other hand, requires patience. However, even if you don't notice results immediately, you can rest assured that excellent habits will keep you on the right track. Making big improvements in your life through habits does not require a lot of disruption, whereas small modifications in your activities can often lead to the intended outcomes. But the question is, why is it hard to build habits? It is mainly because of three factors: conditioning, minor improvements, and compound interest. I'll start with conditioning. Conditioning is the process of forming habits. In practice, we prefer to repeat pleasurable actions until they become part of the routine. When you were a newborn, you might have sucked your thumb to relax. The soothing sensation was the rewarding result that made you want to repeat the behavior. This is why it's so difficult to change negative habits and replace them with the healthy ones. Fortunately, conditioning can also be used to assist in the formation of positive habits. We can engage in routines like going for a morning run as grown-ups, since it gives us endorphin rush and makes us feel more productive. Moving to the second point, minor improvements. Humans have a tendency to tell themselves that great accomplishments demands massive action. Therefore, we fail to form excellent habits. It's easy to overlook the importance of small changes, such as going for a morning run every day. However, because the habit is practiced on a daily basis, the benefits will compound. James Clear demonstrates how small changes may have a tremendous impact. James argues that if you improve 1% of your life every day, you will be 37 times better at the end of the year. Small changes become atomic habits that help you achieve your goals in this way. The downside is that bad habits can function this way too. Clear shows that how getting 1% worse each day result in terrible outcomes over the course of a year. The third point is compound interest. The compound interest of self improvement is atomic habits. The effect of your habits expands as you repeat them. Much like money multiplies to produce compound interest, however, this means that on any given day, habits may appear to make little or no impact. However, the impact they have over months or years might be huge. Our goal is to develop a culture of healthy habits that will compound over time. Bad habits, on the other hand, multiply as well. As previously stated, deferring a project until tomorrow may appear insignificant at the moment. However, if this 1% inaccuracy is repeated day after day, the small errors might add up to the toxic outcomes. Daily habits are not once in a lifetime transformations. You won't see immediate beneficial results from everyday behaviors since habits always trail behind outcomes. In fact, until you succeed a threshold and unlock a new performance level, habits often appear to make no difference. The plateau of latent potential is reached at this point. We often give up since habits do not provide us with the immediate fulfillment that people need. This is the pinnacle of our hidden potential. The plateau of latent potential demonstrates why habit formation might be difficult. To break through this plateau, you must simply preserve long enough. You must learn to be patient and have faith in order to achieve habit fulfillment. Focus on systems and not on goals. Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. The system should be your primary focus. The goal will take care of itself if you adopt this approach. There are a few reasons why systems manage goals according to James Clear. The goals of both winners and losers are the same. Every Olympian, for example, aspires to earn a gold medal, and every business aspires to be successful. The mere act of setting a goal does not imply that it will be achieved. Otherwise, we'd have millions of gold medalists and every entrepreneur's dream would have come true. As a result, it is the winner's method that assists them in achieving success and outcomes. Because achieving a goal only results in temporary shift, whereas goals can actually limit your happiness. We believe that achieving our objectives will provide us immediate happiness. However, taking this approach to life sets up for failure. Even after achieving our aim, we may still feel unsatisfied. Though we fail, we feel as we have been cheated out of a shot at happiness. Goals do not create long term progress, but systems definitely do. If you are having problems changing your behavior, it's not your fault. Your system is the issue. As a result, instead of focusing on your particular goals, try to concentrate on the total system. Atomic Habits' central theme is that you do not climb to the level of your goals. Instead, you fall back on your system's level. Now, let's talk about habit loops. Habits reinforce each other. This means that performing the behavior and obtaining the reward makes you want to repeat it. When you wish to change your behavior, you can take advantage of this. Actions go through a defined step by step procedure to become a habit. Because it promises a reward, the cue causes your brain to initiate an activity. Then you will begin to acquire cravings after earning this initial reward. You are craving the internal transformation that the habit has brought about, not the habit itself. This behavior becomes a part of your personality and a habit you practice in your life as a result of these urges. Finally, this habitual behavior starts to deliver long term rewards. James Clear provides the example of morning coffee in the formation of habit loops. Cue is equal to waking up, craving is equal to feeling alert, action is equal to drinking coffee, reward is equal to feeling alert. The four steps of the habit loop combine to form a neurological feedback loop. This loop is cue, craving, response, reward. Finally, you can use this loop to build and reinforce atomic habits. The more you repeat this habit loop with any habit, the more automatic it will become. Clear outlines four principles that illustrate how to begin creating habit loops. First law, make it obvious. To take advantage of habit loops to build good habits, you want to make the cues obvious. For bad habits, you want to make the cues invisible or remove them. Assume you wish to improve your guitar skills. In this scenario, an evident cue that serves as a reminder to play the guitar is required. In this case, for example, place the guitar in middle of the living room to stimulate your brain more frequently. Creating a habit stack is another great technique to introduce new cues. Adding habits before and after each other is known as habit stacking. Keep in mind that your brain forms strong neurological connections to promote consistent behavior. You can use those connections by tying a new habit to an established one. This could mean putting on workout clothes directly after taking off your work shoes or meditating for a minute right after pouring your first cup of coffee. Now, the question is how to form good habits. Certain stimuli can trigger habitual behavior. Once you understand that you can use this knowledge to form good habits, you are good to go. Change your surroundings to encourage improved behaviors. You'll be more likely to respond to cues if you make them as plain as possible. Let's say you wish to eat more nutritious snacks. Instead of hiding these healthful snacks in the salad drawer, you may place them on the shelf where you can see it. Making use of implementation goals, implementation intentions are detailed plans for when and where you will practice your new habit. Don't make vague promises like I'll eat healthier. Instead, make a detailed action plan that specifies when and where you will practice the habit you wish to develop. Create an environment that invites temptation. Humans are driven by the prospect of receiving a reward. Dopamine, the feel good hormone, is released by our brain not only when we accomplish pleasurable things, but also when we anticipate them. It's worth noting that developing appealing routines will help you stick to them. Connect to behavior you are drawn with a habit you would like to cultivate. Allow yourself to binge Netflix while working out. Make the habit as easy to adopt as possible, reduce friction for good habits, and increase friction for bad habits. Use the 2-minute rule as a guideline. Make any new task feel manageable by dedicating only 2 minutes of your time to it. This is a great method for forming simple habits that will lead to greater results. The most important step is to get started. Create behaviors that are immediately rewarding initially. When it comes to habits that have a long term payoff, attempt to connect instant enjoyment to them. Now, the question is how to keep your habits on track. Option 1, Habit Tracker. Habit trackers help ensure you maintain the daily behaviors required to feed a habit. For example, you can use a calendar or a diary to create a habit tracker. Cross off every day that you manage to stick to your good habit. What's more important, habit tracking itself is an attractive and a satisfying habit. This is why habit tracking is so effective. Option 2, Contract. Develop a habit contract that imposes negative consequences if you fail to stay on track. Try to involve other people like your spouse or your family. Simply knowing that someone is watching can be a powerful incentive to keep going. Moving to the second law, make habits attractive. Next, to make a habit stick, you must get regular positive feedback from this habit. An efficient way to develop this positive feedback is to use temptation bundling. Temptation bundling relies on unenjoyable activities becoming enjoyable through their connection with your favorite things, such as watching TV and exercising. You are more likely to find a behavior attractive if you get to do of one of the things that you really love. The second method to make the craving more attractive is joining a culture where your desired behavior is normalized. For example, if you want to become well read, you could join a book club. Joining this club will hold you accountable and you will likely find reading more fun than doing it alone. Similarly, if you wish to break undesirable habits, you should associate with a culture that does not support them. You should also avoid cultures where your poor habits are accepted. Assume you wish to stop smoking. In that scenario, it could be a good idea to avoid spending time with folks who smoke regularly. Moving to the third law, make habit easy. Motivation, according to the conventional opinion, is the key to breaking a habit. We will change if we desire to change strongly enough. However, the relationship between motivation and habit change is a little more complex. To be more exact, human conduct is guided by the principle of least effort. We are compelled to choose the choice that needs the least amount of effort. You may take advantage of this by establishing an environment that makes doing the right thing as simple as possible. To create the environment, you should reduce the friction associated with positive behaviors. For example, if you want to get fit, you could join a gym that's on your route to work. You can also get your gym bag organized and ready the night before. For unhealthy behaviors, you should increase the friction. If you want to watch less television, only turn it on when you ensure you can say out loud the name of the program you want to watch. This creates friction and will stop mindless viewing and switching channels just to see what's on. Fourth law is make habits satisfying. Habits don't always bring immediate gratification in the form of results. As a result, it can be difficult for us to form new habits. We think of beginning of a new habit as a sacrifice with no payoff. At first, nothing will change physically. If you start coming to the gym a few times a week, instead, finding a meaningful effects take months. So to make your new habit stay, come up with a strategy to reward yourself right away. One technique you can use when the reward is a long term is to set up loyalty system for yourself. For example, imagine you want to give up alcohol. On its own, there is no satisfaction in merely abstaining, but suppose you transfer $25 to your holiday bank account every week you go without alcohol. In that case, you will be immediately rewarding yourself for your new habit. Let's move to the three layers of behavior change. In order to understand how to change our behavior, James Clear introduces the three layers of behavior: outcomes, processes, and identity. Outcomes, the outer layer, are the results of an action or group of actions. Processes are what you do to achieve those results. Finally, your identity, the innermost layer, is about what you believe. When people set out to improve themselves, they first think about the outcome they want and then think about the process. But it's hard to change your habits if you don't change the underlying beliefs that led to your previous behaviors. You might create a habit as a result of increased motivation. In the end, you won't maintain this habit unless it becomes part of your identity. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No individual action will transform your beliefs overnight. The evidence of your new identity grows as your positive actions build up. Here's a simple two-step process for the change. Number one, be the type of person you want to be. Number second, prove your identity to yourself with little wins and small atomic habits. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Stay tuned, and we will be right back with another book summary.